I'm Stephan Smith of Artsmith Craftworks, and I'm sitting here with my son Noah, and I've actually got a couple questions that I'd like to ask him regarding his opinion of steampunk. I know, he's laughing because we have a hairy visitor here, so pay no attention to her. So, what do you think about the whole steampunk aesthetic? What do you like about steampunk?
I very much enjoy that. I very much enjoy the Victorian era sort of design and the way they arrange everything.
So do you like the clothing more, or do you like the whole mechanics of it?
I like a little of everything. I like the way I like their fashion. I do very much like the appeal or the appearance of the mechanics.
I think what attracted me to steampunk in the first place is the idea that it was an age of dawning scientific discovery. So there was a lot of attention paid to the scientific endeavor of the whole thing. Even though the technology that we have today didn't really exist, they were pushing forward into new frontiers. What I tend to like about it is that they were trying to learn how to fly, basically, because during the Victorian era, that hadn't been accomplished yet. The flight didn't occur until, what, 1902, I think, with the Wright brothers flight, and that was at the very end of the Victorian era, so what's considered the steampunk era was just ending as we were learning to fly with wings. But they were experimenting with lighter than air vehicles like Zeppelins and such. So, I mean, have you seen those kinds of things as attractive?
Oh yeah, I've seen a lot of things like that I find appealing. The kind of crazy designs they come up with to fly. I've seen some ornithopters, that's what they're called, with the pedaling and the flapping wings.
Where did that idea originate? Do you remember?
I don't think I ever knew.
I think part of it was Leonardo da Vinci first.
First
came up with the whole idea of a rotary wing of sorts that was kind of shaped like a screw almost, and it kind of went up and down. People I think have actually even tried to build those, and while it wasn't completely successful, it was kind of interesting. But when I think of those things too, I think of like dirigibles, airships of different kinds. In fact, that really is kind of what influences my brand of art, which you've seen a lot of, obviously.
I know very much about those.
What parts of the airships that you've seen me build have you liked in particular?
Honestly, I very much like the creativity that you put towards in your designs. How you start with the envelope itself, and how it could become something much different from something else you've done. Like, for one, all methods of propulsion could just be on the gondola, and for another, it's all on the envelope, and there's actually very little to the gondola.
Mm-hmm. So I think one of the neat things about steampunk in general as a genre of science fiction is that people very much like to make their own things, build their own things, which really goes hand in hand with my philosophy in art, which is to try to use materials that were something else. So to repurpose old materials into something new very much fits into that whole idea of steampunk. So what kinds of things that you've seen in materials, like without saying the word junk, but in stuff that you've seen me collect or whatever, that you could imagine being put into some new piece?
Well, certainly I've seen parts salvaged from various appliances like vacuum cleaners and other appliances with that can probably be disassembled with little more than a screwdriver. like many old-fashioned design like appliances that have many uniquely shaped parts to them that could be used for this or that. And
the funny thing, I think, is you would think that the more detailed something was in its former life, the harder it would be to build into something steampunk. But I think almost
quite the contrary. Because you can all see, oh, that kind of looks like a this, or
right. The more detail something had before, the more interest and detail it has when you're repurposing it into something new. In fact, from a model making standpoint,
it gives it a whole new context.
It does, and model makers, particularly in science fiction, look for model parts from all different kinds of models, whether they be cars or ships or anything, and they build those into really fantastic looking spaceships. And when they're done, you wouldn't know by looking at it that those were pieces from completely dissimilar or unrelated models, because they've repurposed them entirely, and they've buried the old look into the new look. And that's kind of what I try to do with the steampunk airships that I build, is take the existing piece and totally lose its detail into the detail of the new piece, and they wind up looking really, really interesting. So I'm Stephan Smith of Artsmith Craftworks, and again, I'm here with my son Noah, who in his own right is a bit of a steampunk aficionado. So wanted to ask him a few questions regarding his opinions on steampunk, and I think it's been fun to discuss these topics with him. Thank you, Noah.
Thank you.
I'm Stephan Smith of Artsmith Craftworks, and I'm sitting here with my son Noah. What are you doing? Stop it!
God damn it!
Stop, because this is part of the video thing. So
it's just too many.
Just relax. You don't have the cat.
There's just too much input.
So just okay. You ready? Pay no attention to the hairy one.
It's kind of hard since she's right there.
You're ruining the shot, cat. All right. Pay attention. Yeah.
All right.
I'm Stephan Smith of Artsmith Craftworks, and I'm sitting here with my son Noah, and I have a few questions that I'd like to ask him regarding his opinions on steampunk.
You need to go.
Just don't pay attention to her. Like I said, no, look at me.
You need to go. You
Hey,
need to go.
Don't look at her. Look at me. Okay. Don't laugh.
I need to. Oh, I need to calm down. You're not helping.
Just ignore her. Should be a funny part in the video. I'm Stephan Smith of Artsmith Craftworks, and I'm sitting here with my son Noah, and I'm going to ask him a couple of questions. Will you stop it? Seriously.
It's just, I don't know.
Look at me, not.
I am looking at you.
Not the fuzzy one. All right. I gotta stop this and start again. Otherwise, this will be a 10-minute video.